Look, the flowers have bloomed.
Oh,
They're so cute.
It's so cute.
Damn. As soon as I step outside, the August heat washes over me like an unwelcome flashback. It's fucking hot and it's fucking humid. Welcome to Florida.
Welcome to Michigan in the summer.
Cumulus clouds tower on the horizon, that essentially Japanese summer sky. It's picture-perfect, picturesque, but I could do with the air feeling like a thin film of day-old rainwater, you know? Breathing in just feels gross.
It's horrible.
The best thing about Hokkaido summers is that they're not as bad as summers in southern Japan, and I'm glad that I've been here where it's relatively dry in comparison to the cities where you can't even step outside between June and August without everything a certain distance away being obscured by heat haze. I used to, when I was in school, I used to have to change in the middle of the day because I'd go to one class or one or two classes and then be covered in sweat.
See, it never got that bad, but
Florida is not nice with humidity.
yeah, I imagine Florida's a whole lot worse, but especially since I live a little further inland than, say, like, right on the lake, which...
That's true. I live right on the ocean.
Yeah, see, I don't, like, I live a little further inland than right on any of the lakes, so I'm lucky in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I got a river that I get flood warnings about, even though it never floods. So, A+.
Yay. There's no need to say goodbye to the house. I'll be coming back on vacations. I'll be seeing more of the house than its actual owner, and I'll be leaving it in trustworthy hands. What I do need to save the farewells for is... Aw, look at the cutie pie.
Oh.
For instance, Shiyu, who's loitering on the driveway. Her bike is lined up next to mine on the black top, the kickstand almost touching. She's coming with me as far as the train station, where she'll leave me to the right of the airport with just my parents. My mother, who has a basic grasp of English and Italian for business purposes, will be staying with me until I'm settled into my new place, but by the time September rolls around and brings my new college life with it, she will have returned to Japan. It's not like I'm going to be dropped into independence all at once. I need time to be able to let go of things that have supported me one by one. But I'm painfully aware of the fact that I have limits, and compared to the way Spork had to run away from everything he builds up over and over, I have a lot of leeway that I intend to appreciate. Anyway, she is watching me with a hand in her hair and an unreasonable smile. She left school early for the sake of seeing me off, and I guess the teachers had enough knowledge of what's going on with me that they gave her special permission. Either that, or after 3 years of Shiyu's adventures with hair dye, they know full well that even if they didn't give her permission, she just ditched her class anyway and caved.
Senpai, notice me.
Shiyu stands there in her summer uniform and narrows her eyes as she smiles.
I can't believe you actually cut it.
That wasn't what I expected her to say, and so I'm thrown off balance, turning in place to look at my hair. Come on, I didn't even cut it that much. It's still down to my elbows. It's just less of a mess and easier to take care of. And it's such a weight off of everything.
I know, it's just a little hard to get used to still. Especially after how you were so adamant about how you never ever cut your hair for a long time.
It's still long, which is the important part. And besides, I guess I'm still figuring out that I'm allowed to decide what I want to carry. I'm allowed to change my mind.
Yeah.
She is unusually quiet. She looks at the garden, at the house, at the fields, at the forests and the mountains in the far-off distance, and then back at me. She does this several times, as if hoping to find what to say in the pattern. At last,
It's gonna get lonely.
she says that in a little voice with a crease in between her eyebrows. At first glance, she's just the same old Shiyu, but I can already see it on her, the ghost of trying to smile through the urge to cry. You'll be too busy to be lonely for long. Track meets, concerts, playing with your other friends, taking care of your family in this place. You've got so much more going on in your life than just me. And besides, we'll still have the internet and video chats. Plus, I'm totally going to have an obnoxious photo blog that I update with new pictures every little chance I get, and you're obligated to check it every day. That makes her laugh, just as I was aiming for.
Of course I'll check it every day, Senpai. I'll check it 6 times a day. I'll get yelled at by teachers for checking it during class and have to stand out in the hall with buckets. What?
I don't know.
And I'll still check it while I'm out there.
Whoa, you don't need to check it that often. You don't need to get suspended or anything when you've only got half a school year left before you're out of here. We do the usual comedy routine, even if it feels a little hollow on Shiyu's part, since her ad-libs are less out of the left field than usual.
Still, I'm going to miss you.
My usual response here might be to make a joke to keep the mood from getting heavy. But it's Shiyu, and so much of her behavior today is strange and opaque to me. I don't trust myself to be able to decipher it. And maybe she doesn't want me to. She still seems like the same silly underclassman with 1,000,001 strange hobbies to me, but even Shiyu has probably got a lot going on beneath the surface. I can't take my first impressions of the people I care about for granted. I learned that with Natsuko and Kenichi and from Spork too. So, I'm glad. I push myself a little and be honest. Maybe it's selfish to think like this, but I'm still grateful that it's not just my family here in Japan that'll be thinking of me time and again. Especially when you've done so much for me already. So, thank you. Shiyu stares at me for a moment with wide eyes. I guess that's not the answer that she was expecting, because when the summer wind blows, it carries her everything's okay facade with it.
No.
Shiyu lowers her gaze to the ground so that her hair obscures her face.
Senpai, I'm the one that's selfish. I'm self-centered and I'm powerless. I haven't been able to do a single thing for you. All I did was hang around you when you didn't want me there, and bother you, and wait, and hope. It was for my own sake as much as for yours, so...
That doesn't matter to me. I say it plainly and clearly. You were still there. You were one of the only things that was normal and made sense to me all that time. I needed guideposts like that, like you. And even if I can never fully appreciate what I must have been like, I know that it couldn't have been easy to stay with me all that time. So I'm glad that you were there. I'm glad that you're here. I couldn't ask for a better underclassman or a better friend.
Senpai.
She still looks down at the ground. She must not want me to see her expression or look at her while she's crying. I may not be able to read all of her emotions, but I do know that they're intense ones. And that, because it's rare for Shiyu not to smile, then either of these emotions are unfamiliar and all the more upsetting because of it. Or they're just too fresh or immense for her to be able to hide them. I don't tell her not to cry or try to make her look up. What Shiyu is feeling right now, that's hers. It's something private that has little to do with me and that I can't share in. Trying to interfere with those feelings would be beyond arrogant of me. So I stand by and wait for her instead. Even in this small moment, I want to do for her what she did to me. I have a chance to do things more clearly with Shiyu than with Spork. There's still going to be time before our taxi arrives, and even then we'll have a lot of time before we actually say goodbye. And besides, this is different because I know that I'll be seeing Shiyu again. It's like I said, there'll still be the internet, and I'll be here on breaks. She'll go off to college eventually too, but she'll come home for breaks too. We'll still be able to talk and meet, even if distance will get in the way, unlike Spork, who I might have no idea if I'll ever see again. Even if I think and hope that I will. But Shiyu has been with me longer. Shiyu has done as much for me and more. Everything with Spork has helped me learn and realize things and get the tailwind that has brought me this far, but I wouldn't have had starting blocks to stand on without Shiyu. At least, to borrow a metaphor from her activities in track. So I want to say it. I want to say it as clearly as possible. You idiot. I'm leaving this garden
God damn it.
Good job, Mo. A+ emotion expression.
Hey, like,
I'm leaving
A+.
this...
Just like you said, A+.
I'm leaving this garden to you when I'm gone. I'm giving you the responsibility of who to pass it down to when you leave, because I trust you the most out of all my options. I know you do your best to take care of it. That's not something that I would do for anyone that I thought was selfish or powerless, understand?
Senpai.
She raises her head and stares into the sky. Her blue eyes reflect the perfect endless sky, and if I was close enough, I think I would be able to see bits of cloud reflected against her irises. If I were to paint her a picture right now, I'd reflect the sky in her eyes and into every tear mark on her red face. It's pretty rare for her to cry after all. She smiles at me. It's a smile with a weight to it that I can barely comprehend, completely different from the carefree side to her that I usually see.
But Senpai, I don't know nearly as much about gardens as you do. I stood by and let Sportchin get hurt that day too, even though I'm supposed to know better. Is it really okay to trust me with that kind of responsibility?
Oh. I never thought that she'd be worrying about that all this time, too. Still. Senpai, senpai, senpai. It never changes with her. So, since this is already that kind of moment, that kind of day, I might as well try to act like a proper senpai for once. I reach out and rest my palm on the top of Shiyu's head. I pat her hair.
She's been noticed.
Yeah. Kohai. It's a little damp from the humidity. It's frayed and has strands bent and trying to fly away. It's a little coarse from the sheer number of times it's been dyed and re-dyed and dyed all over again. But when I pat her head, her hair is still soft and smooth, the natural black and the messy stripes of purple both. Shiyu doesn't say anything. She's looking at me in utter shock. Has it just been that long since I've been a good senpai, or what? Apparently.
Yeah, apparently. Oh my god.
Either way, all I have to do is make this clear. And so, what are you talking about? You just have to look after it like you've done for me. This time when Shiyu cries, she doesn't try to hide her face. Her half-crumpled expression isn't elegant or dignified, but the tears themselves are pretty. It's way too hot to try to get in close, but I leave my hand on her head and keep patting her hair. The memory of the night when Spork told me the truth rises in the back of my mind and the back of my throat, like light or butterflies roosting inside my ribcage and illuminating me from the inside. Not once in my entire life am I ever going to get a break from having to look after all these damn kids. But I don't think that's a bad thing either.
Senpai, you...
She keeps looking at me.
You've always been...
Whatever she was about to say, she doesn't finish it. But that's fine. If the day ever comes that she wants to tell me, I can listen to her then. The taxi comes about 20 minutes after that. She helps me load the luggage into the trunk. I nag her to remember to put the bikes in the shed for later, and it's only when she goes to do it, while she still knows she's supposed to, that I touch my pocket to make sure that I have both my keys and the spare that I will give to Shiyu when we actually say goodbye later. The taxi will stop at Hakoniwa so that I can spare a few words for manager Shizue. After that, we will pick up my parents and head down to the train station. And by tonight, I will be on a plane headed for Italy. The road that's taken me this far has been very long. It's been doubled back on itself, it's taken me through strange places, and most of the time it didn't feel like I was getting anywhere or even walking at all. But it's still taking me to this moment. I wonder where Spork is and what he's doing right now. I don't think he'd be surprised by what I'm about to do. For all that we met while I was still struggling to just get out of bed and function each day, He never acted like I was damaged or rendered incapable of getting back up and doing things I dreamed of just because I was hurt and sick. He saw me putting out feelers for what I wanted to do as clear as anything, or any damn kid. Anything, damn kid or no. And he was the first one to tell me that I had the right to let go of feelings of personal responsibility and guilt if they were weighing me down. Nice hair.
That's not that much shorter.
No, it's really not.
Like, I know it's like, oh my, like, when she was like, I can't believe you cut your hair, I expected it, like, shoulder length.
Well, she said it was up to her elbows.
True. I just expected shorter.
Yeah. I'm going now. All those big plans, all those grandiose dreams, I'm going to make them mine now. I'm going to make them come true. I know that there's more to the world than I ever thought. I know that there's an underside I still can't comprehend as what I think of as reality. I can't get complacent and take things for granted anymore. Not my health, not the people around me, not my own knowledge. But even so, Spork and I may just be a few pages in each other's stories when all is said and done. But despite that, we still met. We taught each other everything we could, and maybe in the end that will have made all the difference. The world is such a big place, and our knowledge of it is so fragmented, that it's entirely possible that we'll never meet again. Still, the chance that our paths will cross again exists. I look forward to meeting the adults we'll be when that time comes. If we meet again, if all our individual roads converge, then I hope that we'll be able to greet each other in confidence and with smiles. I hope that our stories will line up for longer, so that we three can walk together through each and every season in all their glory. Refinery.
Refinery.
Story by FeralPhoenix. Character design by FeralPhoenix. Art by FeralPhoenix, except for Tomomi's room, which is by Charmwitch. Programming by FeralPhoenix. Music by all of these people.
That's the thing.
Sound effects by all of these people. Special thanks to Karagath, Drifter's Wings, Flarework, S-Rank, Billy Argle, the fans on Tumblr and Lemmasoft forums, and us! With aesthetic inspirations from Sakimoto Hitoshi, Ryu, Nikki, Cowling, Usuke, Wu, and this visual novel was developed using Ren'Py. We finished Refinery!
We finished Refinery!
Learned a lot more about plants than I thought I would.
Yeah, there was a lot more about planting than I thought would happen. out of all of it, like, that was a lot about gardening.
So, what did you think of the story?
I liked it. I liked that it didn't go for the romance route, because that's where these things usually go, and it was kind of like,
Yeah.
Are they gonna hook up? Don't hook up. That's just cliche, and she's coming out of a bad relationship, or at least a bad end of one.
Yeah.
I don't think she's in the right place mentally for a relationship, and da-da-da-da-da, and
I think
they didn't.
FeralPhoenix wrote the depression very well.
Yeah, he did.
I think.
They. For safety.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it really was written well, in my opinion.
The only problem is that with the way that Tomomi thinks, the sentences got a little hard for us to do.
Yeah.
Because just the way she phrases things.
There was definitely, especially the other episodes where I was tripping over every other word.
Mm-hmm.
There were definitely some phrases where it was like, that is awkwardly said. So, but I mean, other than that, hey, it was all good.
Yeah. I really am glad to have seen the conclusion of Refinery and where Refinery came from, because this visual novel has been a long time in the making, at least in my opinion, because I've seen through the first 2 iterations of the previews and stuff. So it's really neat to see it it in its entirety.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there a lot that's changed since then? Those first two iterations, or?
Not really. Um, it kind of just like the first one ended before Shiyu and Daya met, and then the second one ended after Daya got hurt, I think. And so all of the content after that is new stuff. But I
Oh,
don't
okay.
think that there was a lot changed in the previous stuff. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Or if
Ow.
it was changed, it wasn't a lot that was noticeable, which is good.
Yeah. Well, that's good at least, because,
It's still the same story.
yeah, you don't want to. I guess it just shows that it was a good story from the start then.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it wasn't, then it would have been changed in between now and then. And ah.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you for watching. Comp, do you have anything left to say?
Ah, good story. Play it, read it, whatever it on your own.
Play Uncommon Time.
There you
Or
go.
if you don't want to play Uncommon Time, you can go to my playlists and watch me play Uncommon Time. The
That too.
benefit to watching me play Uncommon Time is you don't have to stick throughout all of the battles, because it is an RPG game.
You know what's even a good idea?
What?
Both. Watch you play and play it at the same time.
You might have to pause a bit to do the battles, though.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyways, so thank you for watching. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.